Imagine you are walking through a peaceful mountain forest. Wind moves the leaves. Sunlight flickers across the ground. Hundreds, maybe thousands of trees stand around you. Nothing feels unusual. You hear leaves trembling, a soft shimmering sound like rain, even though the sky is clear. This place looks completely ordinary. But right now, every step you take is technically inside a single living organism. Not a group. Not a colony. One life. Scientists did not realize this at first. For decades, people believed these were individual trees, just a large forest growing naturally in Utah, USA. Until biology asked a strange question. What if they are all the same tree? In the late 20th century, researchers began studying these quaking aspens. At first they noticed something subtle. Every tree had identical bark patterns. Leaves changed color at the same time. They reacted to disease together like synchronized behavior. This was unusual, but still explainable. Then came DNA testing. Scientists sampled trees from far apart locations across the forest. They expected variation. They found none. Every sample matched perfectly. No genetic difference, not cousins, not siblings. The exact same genetic individual repeated thousands of times. It was not a forest. It was replication. The trunks are separate. But underground they are connected to a single massive root system. The visible trees are only stems, biological copies growing from one parent body. Like branches spread across a mountain. This organism was given a name. Pando, meaning I spread. And it spreads in a way that changes how we think about life. Because each trunk dies. But the organism does not. New stems grow from the same ancient roots again, and again, and again. Animals live and die. Civilizations rise and fall. But this life form simply replaces its own body parts. You are not looking at many trees surviving a long time. You are looking at one living being continuously rebuilding itself. A body made of thousands of bodies. And scientists soon realized something even more shocking. This organism may have already been alive when the last ice age was ending. Before writing. Before agriculture. Before history. And that raises a strange question. If the body keeps changing, but the life continues, has it ever actually died? To understand how Pando survives, we have to go underground. Because what you see above the surface, the white trunks, the trembling leaves, is not the true organism. The real body lives below. Pando spreads through a process called clonal reproduction. Instead of producing seeds to grow new trees, it sends horizontal roots outward through the soil. From those roots, new stems rise upward. Each stem looks like an independent tree. But genetically, it is a copy. A biological duplicate of the original ancestor. Think of it like this. If you cut a branch from a plant and grow it again, and repeat that thousands of times, you don't have thousands of plants. You have one plant expressing itself many times. That is Pando. One genetic blueprint. Repeated across 43 hectares of land. Around 40,000 visible stems. All connected. All sharing the same root memory. Now here is where it becomes extraordinary. Individual trunks live only about 100 to 130 years. They age. They weaken. They fall. From a distance, it looks like death. But underground, the root system remains alive. And when one trunk dies, the root simply sends up another. The organism does not mourn. It regenerates. This is not immortality in the mythical sense. It is persistence. A continuous cycle of replacement. Your body replaces cells constantly. But eventually, your system fails. Pando's system does not fail easily. Because it is decentralized. There is no single trunk that must survive. No single heart. No brain. No central vulnerability. If lightning strikes, only a part is damaged. If disease spreads, the root adapts and grows elsewhere. It survives by never depending on one body. That is why it refuses to die. Now comes the question everyone asks. How old is Pando? There is no birth certificate. No ancient photograph. Scientists estimate its age using growth rates and geological evidence. The answer is staggering. Possibly up to 80,000 years old. To understand that timeline, when Pando may have begun growing, humans were still hunting with stone tools. The Ice Age glaciers were retreating. Mammoths still walked parts of Earth. And this organism was already spreading quietly beneath the soil. Not as a towering ancient trunk, but as a root network expanding slowly, patiently, persistently. It does not rush. It does not migrate. It simply grows outward, a few inches at a time, for tens of thousands of years. And here is the deeper philosophical twist. If every visible part of it has died many times, is it truly the same organism? Or is it a biological continuity? A life that never stopped, even though its bodies did? Where does one life begin? And where does it end? Pando is not just a tree. It behaves more like a society. All stems are connected to the same underground root network. And that network shares resources. Water absorbed in one area can feed trunks growing far away. Nutrients gathered from rich soil support weaker regions. Even chemical warning signals travel through the roots. When insects attack one section, other parts of the organism begin defensive reactions before being touched. In human terms, imagine if your finger gets injured, and your foot prepares medicine before the infection reaches it. This is not metaphorical. Biology calls it resource sharing through clonal integration. Pando is not many individuals cooperating. It is one individual coordinating itself across distance. The forest is a body stretched across a hillside. But something unexpected is happening. Despite surviving for tens of thousands of years, Pando is now shrinking. Not because it is old. Because the environment changed faster than it could adapt. Young stems are supposed to replace old ones constantly. However, deer and elk now eat new shoots before they mature. In the past, predators controlled those animals. Wolves once kept herbivores moving. Without them, grazing became concentrated. New trunks are destroyed early, meaning the organism cannot rebuild its body properly. The ancient survival strategy fails when replacement stops. For the first time in its existence, Pando is aging. Not biologically, but structurally. It is not dying from time. It is dying from interruption. Fire once protected Pando. Natural wildfires cleared competing plants and allowed sunlight to reach new stems. Now fires are suppressed. Human protection accidentally removed the reset button of the ecosystem. So two things happened at once. More grazing animals. Less regeneration opportunity. The organism that survived ice ages now struggles in a modern ecosystem. Scientists placed fences around parts of it. Inside those fences, young trees grow normally again. Outside, almost none survive. Meaning the tree still knows how to live. The world around it has changed. And that creates a strange realization. For 80,000 years, Pando adapted to Earth. Now Earth is adapting to humans. And the oldest living organism must adapt to us. We usually think a living thing is simple. One body. One birth. One death. But Pando breaks that definition. Every trunk you see has lived and died many times. Yet the organism continues. So what exactly is alive here? Is it the trunks? The leaves? The roots? Or the continuous pattern, the genetic identity that never stopped? Biology defines an individual as a genetically unique organism. By that definition, Pando has been alive since long before human civilization began. Its body changes constantly, but its identity does not. In a way, you are watching life separated from form. Not a permanent body, but a permanent self. Humans chase immortality by preserving the body. Pando survives by abandoning it. Every century, it replaces itself completely. No scar tissue accumulates. No aging organs remain. No single failure ends the organism. It lives because it lets parts of itself disappear. This is a different kind of survival. Continuity instead of permanence. You could walk through the forest today, and none of the trunks present 500 years ago would still stand. Yet the life you see is the same life that existed then. Not metaphorically. Biologically. The same organism experiencing time through replacement. Pando has survived ice ages, climate shifts, storms, and fire. Not by strength. By persistence. It spreads slowly. Repairs constantly. Depends on balance. And now, for the first time, its future depends on whether humans understand it. Because protecting a single tree is easy. Protecting an organism the size of a forest requires understanding what it truly is. When you stand inside Pando, you are not among many trees. You are inside one living being that has watched the entire span of human civilization. And maybe its lesson is simple. Life does not last by staying the same. Life lasts by continuing.
Subscribe Info Beyond Borders now for more mind-blowing knowledge.